down.
Well, you got a drone.
What's that?
You got a
Ronnie,
drone.
was it Ron's
We
son?
had Ron Collins' son. We actually we were talking about we were worried about potential
Structural
rust
steel.
on the steel up top, and we wanted to get a look at it. So his son sent the drone up and took pictures for us, so we could get a look at all the steel. But he got some nice shots, along the way. So anyway, so all the underslab plumbing is completed, and there's a lot of it. I mean, there's a lot of utilities under the slabs.
All protected as we did it.
Yeah,
Electrical.
and then this is just, the electrical work coming in, there's a lot of it, all throughout under the slabs. Generators installed, been installed for a while.
Yep.
Then the slabs got poured, that was admin, this is the,
Vehicle storage.
yeah, the vehicle storage getting poured. That was probably a month ago. Masonry's been cranking along, he's substantially complete at this
Yeah.
point, so that's gone quite well. All
Interior's
those-
done.
Yeah, all the interior masonry, there's a lot of interior masonry. This wall
Wash
now,
bay.
this wall now is up to this height,
Yep.
incomplete. That's, this is the wall between vehicle maintenance and the, vehicle, wash bay. You'll see it when we go over. Interior framing is significantly underway, if not, there can't be a whole lot of interior framing to do. So
No
that's-
odds and ends.
That's
Yep.
probably 95% complete, all the interior framing. HVAC is underway, all the utilities are moving along, the sheathing's underway. This has been a little bit of a holdup in the job, is the exterior sheathing.
And siding, yep.
Yeah, and the siding. So, they've kinda been a little slow to get started, and
It's a specialty crew that actually installs that, so just, with today's market and the market being saturated, as much construction out there as possible, getting these guys and having flexibility with getting extra manpower has been difficult, so.
and then, these guys, they gotta get everything covered and get it tight so that the other trades can get in, plumbers and electricians do their thing and frame it, so it kinda slowed things down a bit, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Just some images of it. It's looking good, it's coming along. Schedule status, okay, so we're gonna hit on this. Date on this is gonna be wrong, I forgot to change it before the meeting. So it says completion date, it's the substantial completion date, all right? Per the contract was September 26th. As we said, the steel sheathing has been slowing down some of the other trades, but they have been working extra hours during the week
Saturdays.
and on Saturdays to pick up time, which they have. And right now, this says October 12th, it's not. It's October 17th.
Yeah, it was
Is-
work days versus calendar days.
Yeah. So, that's when the substantial completion date is now estimated for. We're in the process of signing a change order, no-cost change order. They're not gonna charge us anything, it's not our fault, but also, we're not gonna charge them because Daedalus and Weston Sampson have agreed that they're not gonna charge us any money for the few extra weeks. So,
Some of it had to do with some incidental changes that we did as well, so we worked as a team to come up with a
reasonable.
reasonable.
And so
settlement.
October 17th, we just left the on-site meeting an hour ago, and that's the date we're looking at.
Now you're moving in on October 18th.
Oh, I can, if that's substantial, yeah, I could move in the next day. Yes.
Furniture will be.
Furniture will come,
Yeah.
furniture will come in the next day, and then like a week later, whatever it takes them, we could actually.
To set up,
physically
yep.
move. Right. Finances, so the key things to look at, you can look at all the detail you want, but the key things to look at is the arrows, right? So the total budget, 13,130,000 was the budget, right now to spend. We paid out 5.66 million to date, so we're 57% through the job financially. Probably a little more than that actually in construction, but we've
Mhm.
paid out 57%.
Yeah, they're about 63% right now.
Right. So, and that doesn't include contingency in that. That's raw. 13.13 is the raw number, 5.66 paid out, 57% paid. So, but let's look at the change orders. And this is stuff, we've already talked about this. Change order number one, you'll remember, was, 20 grand to raise the height. We added the translucent panels, changed some doors, another 15. We all talked about it, approved it, Board of Selectmen, I think same thing.
Mhm.
There was some 7 grand for some modifications to the drainage, next to the salt shed. So 42,000 was change order 1, and change order 6. Now you're gonna go, well, wait a minute, what happened to 3 to 5? Well, one of them was a price change order. I think it was actually a schedule change.
Yep.
And then the other two were funded from other sources, you know, like we had a 14,000 to improve the drainage. It was for G'day Hill Road, but it was on our site, so we just, while they were there, and it wasn't working, it was a mess. So we had them fix it, we paid it out of stormwater,
And then the
a
liner
different
repair.
account. And then the impervious swale that we're
Yep.
doing on the site, they're doing for us, is getting paid out of wastewater funds from like a year or two ago. So that's how we get to change order 6. And we've already talked about all these, you know, we had some surprises moving the flare and some modifications. We've already gone through all this stuff. It was a 53, and we got some credits, you know, we got a credit, the Porta-John credit that keeps coming in, which I can explain if you want me to. We found a counter, a rogue counter that, in the final bid
Yeah, we
docs,
didn't need, right?
that we didn't need, you know, at the end, so we got a credit there. There's another counter we're gonna delete, we're gonna need another credit, probably similar price, that we'll see, you know, in a future change order. So 53 grand is the second change order. So when you bring it all together, we had 600,000 starting the job, change order number was 42,000, change order 6 was 53,000, we still have $504,000 in change. That's where we are today. But here's the great part, we're 57% through the job, we've only spent 16% of our contingency. You know, if everything was on track, we'd spend 50% of our contingency, but we're only at 16. And of that, 9% we asked for. So really, we've only
7%,
spent
right?
7% on unanticipated items, which is fabulous.
Yep, unforeseen, I mean, that's great.
It's great, you know? So, we got 500,000. So here's our significant issue, and kind of probably the primary reason why we're here this afternoon. So we started out with a tech budget of about 127,000 bucks, right? Well, okay, so we had to design the security system, they were 6,500 bucks. We're already under contract for the radio system, 40 grand. We're under contract for the telephone system, 25. The network in the building, Peter can speak to what that is, the firewalls and all the other stuff, is 50
Infrastructure.
grand. Infrastructure, we gotta have 50 grand. You know, TVs and mounting, 5 grand. It leaves us with 654 bucks in the tech budget. Well, we need more than that. So what do we need? We need to wrap up our security system for 139,000. Time clock system, 22,000. Computers, a plan scanner and plotter for 50 grand. The servers that we gotta put in, we don't own our own servers. Right now, we use the servers out of town hall. We need our own servers. That's why I got Peter here to talk about this stuff. So anyway, we need 223,000 bucks out of contingency, basically, out of the 504 that's left. So, what's our proposal? What's our plan? Now, first of all, we're gonna continue to scrub this through the end of the job. So this is just numbers best to date. We're gonna do better. I know we're gonna do better. So we wanna break up this need into 2 phases, all right? We talked to the security supply. We went out, you know, for quote from 2 security companies. And the low bidder, you know, we talked to them, we said, look, we wanna break this up. Give us the bare minimum we need to do now, like put behind the walls before we wall in the walls, and do certain minimum things like, we can run the gates, there's 3 gates that enter the site, so we can run those gates, you know, things like that, and have the brain installed to run those gates. And some other incidentals that we can talk about, I should have it actually, yeah, hold on. Card readers for the gates, wireless transceivers, the access control head end, so this is the brain behind it, and Peter, jump in if I misspeak. You know, and setting up all the credentials for the gates, you know, who people are and all that.
There are 2 gates, right?
3 gates.
3
Great.
gates.
There are 3 gates.
One is at between,
There's one for the fuel depot that we enter now.
okay.
There's one that'll be between
One
the
between
fuel
main-
depot and the
public parking
building.
lot And the
Yeah.
fuel
And
depot.
then one
parking
And then
lot.
one on the other side.
And
Yeah.
one to the, what is it, north?
North side,
North,
yeah,
yeah,
right side of
north,
the building,
yeah.
yeah. Then there's an intrusion alarm system, so that the intrusion alarm will work. And then there's cabling and all the stuff behind the walls and all that, so that's 56,000. So that's like the minimum we need to do now if we're gonna have any kind of a security system ever. So we wanna do that. We need to put in the time clock system. We've been limping along with the time, we have a time clock system in our current buildings. We've been limping along for a while. We don't wanna invest any money into it. We don't wanna move it. It's just, it's not worth.
It's antiquated.
2002.
It's a 2002 time clock system.
It's antiquated.
You know what I mean? Plus, we don't wanna get to the point, like, our new license is gonna come up for payment in February. We don't wanna, you know, it's time to move on. So.
Was that ever part of the original
It was
general
part of the,
specs?
it was part of the conversation, not the specs like,
Not
Contract
to have it
specs?
included.
not in contract specs, but it was part of the conversation as part of our planned tech budget back in the day, all
That's fair-
right?
That's fair to say.
Right. So, and then the servers, 12.5, we gotta put them in now, we can't move in without that, okay.
Before we leave the time clock, can
Yeah.
you give us a breakdown of what that system is? I mean, that's.
All right, so we, Peter and I and the staff, okay, we've reached out and interviewed per se three or four.
Three.
Vendors, people, top, vendors in the industry. So what this will do is we'll have several time clocks, okay? Actually, and this isn't just, I'm trying to think, there'll be a time clock over at the transfer station too, okay? And these time clocks, communicate, all right? They communicate to a main server probably, they communicate back.
All cloud-based.
It's all cloud-based. You wanna describe a little bit? I mean, you know better than I do.
So, we'll have time clocks at the DPW facility. We'll have it
Right.
at transfer, we'll have it pretty much everywhere.
We'll be able to expand them to the beach.
Exactly, so
Right.
all the natural resources.
It'll all
do
tie
that.
together.
Anybody can, be able to log in on Austin Beach, go to the cloud. Trish, who's sitting at DPW, is collecting all this data, and so it just makes everything so much more efficient. We'll have it, places where you can log in on your phone if you need to.
Right.
It's
So-
just, it's
so
just a
let's say-
modern system.
So this is not an old-fashioned card system? is it?
No,
This is, it's all automatic. Like, for example, I as an employee, right now with this system, I could clock in at the beach, you know what I mean? At Nauset, clock out at Skankia. I'm the custodian. I start my day, at the building. I clock in at the building, I clock out at town hall. Or I'm the police department custodian. I clock in at DPW, I clock out at the PD. So-
Everybody has their
or
own ID number?
Everyone has their own ID number
You're
or
gonna do
way
a
of
fo-
clocking
like
in.
Your fob
Is it the fob? Which way are we doing
or
it?
card, one or the other.
It's fob, card, or
It's
ID?
not a card, it's fob or.
It's fob or ID, I think
Yeah.
it's both,
Yeah, it can be either.
right?
The other thing that this does, this will really be the basis of the time clock system for the whole town. I would imagine, town hall will expand to this too. Trish or whoever's running this will be able to export a file out of the software,
Yeah.
Make it happen.
import it into Munis.
Into payroll.
And the payroll is done. I mean, the amount of time saving that this will do is.
So,
it's
gonna
all
be
and the other, I
worth
mean, and this is we're not, it's not 22,000 because we're getting the Cadillac system. We talked to 3 different companies, we really looked at all the options. But this particular system,
Had the most options.
me as an
The retinal
employee,
scanners, I mean, I don't know exactly how this one does it.
me as an employee, I can
We
be at the
use
time
biometric
clock,
now.
and I can
It's-
ask for
it's
time off.
Problematic, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys.
Now,
We have,
All right.
So, I can, as an employee, I can ask for time off, request time off at the time clock. As an employee, I can request time off from my cell phone, okay? And then me, as the manager, can go, oh, so-and-so wants time off, I can grant it from my cell phone. I can grant it from my desktop computer, and it puts everything, and then what it'll do is, like, for example, let's say,
Records it, right.
let's say it's Nate Sears. Well, John Kelly wants to sign off for the managers. So Nate puts in a request to take time off. It comes to me to endorse first. I sign it. It automatically kicks to John Kelly for him to approve it, and then it automatically updates the system. So it's a slick, it gets rid of paperwork, it's just such, and then it updates the calendar. You know what I mean? So we all know who's in and who's not. Am I missing anything?
No, it's good.
And then the other thing is, does this connect, is it the same, I don't know if it connects to the security system now.
It does not.
It does not, okay. But the security system has the same data on everyone, so the security system knows who's coming and going at 2 in the morning, into the building or into the gates.
so on this time clock, only one person, I mean, it used to be on time clocks, 3 or 4 people would stay out and somebody would,
What do you mean? What?
Punch him in, you mean?
You mean
punch them in.
Punch 'em out?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not like that now.
Okay,
it's
so
not like that. What,
you can't do it, you can't punch anyone in and out unless, you give someone your number.
Or your
right?
card.
But
Yeah.
here, but you know what this thing does also? This one takes your picture. So if Joe Schmo
Or John.
punches out John,
Yeah.
Fobs with his
right,
both-
I look at the picture, I know Joe punched out John.
Hey, Tom, I'm
okay,
actually not sure that this is the one that we picked.
Yeah, this is the one.
Oh, you're right.
This
It
is the
it
one.
You're right.
This is
I'm
the
sorry.
one that does the
Yeah,
picture.
so it's accountability more than
Yeah,
anything.
so that's
That's
part of the time clock, not the security.
it's part of the time clock, right. Now,
Security besides gates does what else?
okay, so
Go
let's
ahead.
talk security. So, let me go forward to phase two, and then we'll get into a little more detail. So, okay, so this is what we're asking for today from you guys. We want a recommendation, we want to approve from you guys that we take $90,550 out of contingency, that we have 504 right now, and use it for those three items. Now, later on in the fall, when we're in the building, we're gonna come back, when the job's done, we know we have X dollars in contingency. We wanna complete the security system, we'll talk about what that means, okay? And I wanna, then I kinda hate to buy the computers later, cause it's more double work for Peter, but whatever, we buy, 20,000 for the computers, and we buy new computers. And then the plan, scanner, and plotter, I can wait, I don't have it now, I can wait until we get in the building, all right? So that'd be another 133 later. Now, that number's gonna go down. That 133 is gonna go down. I don't know how much yet, but we're gonna work it. And we're gonna work some of this stuff a couple of ways. We're gonna work it that, I'm gonna work the price of the plan, scanner, and plotter, and things like that, and drop that price. But we're also gonna work at that, along the job, we might have some areas that we pick up a little money that we'll
That'll
put,
drop down the
that'll
contingency.
put towards this and
Yep.
drop down how much we'll ask for. So that number's gonna drop. So what I'm asking for is 90,550 today. Now, to answer Hank's question, what's the security system do? I'll start, please jump in, you probably know it a little better than I do. So the security system, 3 gates to enter the property. Every town vehicle that will enter that property for any reason gets a fob. Push the button, right? Security system registers that that vehicle went in, so we know, Tom Daly's vehicle went in. Even my staff who work there, I'll give out some personal ones for their personal vehicles, because they're gonna have to enter the site. But I'll know when they show up and they leave, even for off hours, all that, okay? Every fire engine, police car, any vehicle that's gonna go fuel, town hall car, will access site through a button, and it will be recorded in the system. Now, the system will also, the employees come in. Now, it will also automatic open and lock the doors at certain times, 7 AM, everything opens up, or 6:30, or whatever. It has that ability to open and shut all the doors. So like at 4 o'clock, someone forgets to lock a door, everything locks up,
Yeah.
automatic, okay? That's the ones that are on the system though, some aren't on the system.
Correct.
But those will be like the main doors that are on the system. Because we could spend more money than this if we did every door. I mean, it'll crank that up another 50 grand. We're not planning on that, okay? So what else does it do? If you come in off hours, and I'm an employee, I come in off hours, I have my fob, I go to a door, I enter, it enters into the system that Tom Daly entered at 2 AM.
In
okay?
that specific door.
In that specific door. Now, we have a wash bay. I want the fire department, police department to wash their vehicles anytime they want in the day. They're 24/7. They will all have, every employee will have their own ID number, or fob, whatever it is, right?
Associated with the fire.
Associated with the fob. They go up to the wash bay. There's a, electronic control door. They enter. I know at 3 AM, fireman by such and such a name went in with an engine and washed the truck, okay? And then, or whatever, and then left. Okay, I know that. I also know, let's say I'm a DPW person, and I come in and I'm working an event, something's going on, and I come in and I enter the vehicle maintenance bay. So I know that person goes in. I also have a card, whatever, fob reader, that enters the building from there. Now, police and fire won't have access to get through that door, right? But my staff can get through that door, and I know what time they came and went. We also have cameras. So the phase 2 completes the camera system. We have cameras outside the building. We have cameras now in our current buildings, like at sticker sales. We have cameras that we can see all the transactions. We have cameras where the vault is, where all the sticker sales are kept in money sometimes. You know what I mean? So we have cameras internally in the building. What am I missing? Is that it? I think that's it.
So at the police station, which we just finished, the security system number was like 270, 260, so this is,
Yeah,
it's a nice system, but this is not the Cadillac.
Yeah, this is
However,
scaled down.
it is with the same vendor that did the police department, so
Oh,
in the end,
Yeah.
it's possible that all town
You'll be able
buildings
to
will be
blend
using
them,
the same.
yeah.
the
So
police
what
will watch
what
my
you're saying is
system.
these two things talk to each other, is that?
Yes.
They can
Uh,
blend, yeah.
I'm not sure if in that 138 number, there is a merging of the two, but it is from the same vendor and it is the same technology.
Yeah.
I think-
You
I
have the
think it-
capabilities to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't know, I
Yeah,
haven't read the
okay.
proposal to know
All
if
right.
that
Right.
138 includes it, but it may be
Our
that,
emergency response center is at the police station, is it not?
Right.
Yep.
Now, this does have, it also has an intrusion alarm, right? So there is an intrusion
Motion.
alarm, you know.
Motion detector.
Yep,
Is there motion? I
yeah,
don't
there's
know.
motion,
Okay.
there's motion.
Yeah, but what do they get, a key tag, like a, is that what you
Oh.
call it, a fob?
Yeah, it'll be something. It could be a key thing, yeah.
They-
We haven't
they're
got to
all
that
different
level of detail
styles.
yet.
Even your card could be a fob, so.
Yeah, I could have a card, an ID card with a photo.
It has a little chip in it that just.
Right. Let me see, what else is this all I got? That's it? There's another-
Now, we're gonna have cameras, right?
Yeah,
At phase two, there'll be cameras all around the building and some internally. Yeah,
How
That-
about the gates you were talking about?
they're under control. I would assume you can probably see the gates from the location of the cameras,
Yeah.
because we talked about that. So the outside cameras will pick up the gates, because I mean, I know the corners they're on. They hit all corners and, you know, so you'll see the whole site.
mm-hmm.
That covers the materials bin?
I don't know if we'll go as high up as the materials bin near the salt shed. I know there's one in the back side of the building. I don't know how far she'll see. Might be able to see up there.
But the perimeter is gonna be
The
covered
perimeter of
too,
the building's
so
covered.
You'll see anybody coming and going out of there if there was an issue.
I mean, we can, you know,
You
it just
can always
costs
add
money.
it, yeah.
You know what I mean? I could put a camera and some stuff up at the salt shed, but, you know, we didn't, you know.
Do you have that on the transfer station entrance now?
We don't have security, did we?
Yes, we do.
We got a camera there?
We have cameras there.
Intrusion alarms? Or no?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But there's any place we take cash, pretty much, we like to have
Oh,
cameras.
yeah, that's right.
So we wanna see the transactions that are happening as people enter the transfer station. So everything's in a locked cabinet, so the attendants can't mess with it, but they know it's there, so.
Where are the three gates going to be, Tom?
So on this picture, that's a good question. On this picture, there's a gate here now. There will be a gate here, because this will be public parking and this is employee parking, so there's a gate here, and then there'll be a gate over here.
Right.
Again, public parking and employee parking. That's what the three gates are.
So,
So, so the process, if I may, is,
Yeah.
if you guys say, yeah, Tom, move forward to 9550, we've got a preliminary set up with the Board of Selectmen on August 22nd to bless it also. And then we're authorized to move forward.
Okay, now, does this represent the breakdown of change order 6,
7.
7? This would be change order 7.
Well, yeah, it could be. Change order 7 could be.
Well, no, not necessarily. It's not a change order. It's just a reallocation of the contingency.
You're right, it won't be a change order
It's
with the
not a
contract.
change order with the contract. We're buying this off the state bid list, so.
Right, right,
Change order 6 was already approved.
yeah,
Correct.
with the general contract.
That's a separate item altogether. It's just the use of the contingency to buy the items for the security system and time clock.
can you guys explain the process as to how we got to where we are today and how, you know, originally we had,
Want me to do that? You-
all of this was in there?
Let me, all right, let me start it. So we originally, like I said, had, hold on, let me go back a slide. We originally had that 126.8 number. And, you know, we had in there 30,000 for the plotter and 20,000 for computers. Plotter, computers,
Telephone.
no, no.
Wasn't there.
There was a few of these
Yep.
items listed, and then there was, 40,000 for radios, that's right, I'm looking up there, 40,000 for radios. And then we had 35,000 left for everything else. And that's what it was labeled,
That's right.
miscellaneous tech.
Yeah.
And that's what it was labeled in the job budget. You wanna take it from there?
Sure, so,
Actually, let me back up. I want you to jump in, but let me just
Okay.
give, so, you go back 6 months before this job was voted at town meeting, give or take, right? And, you know, we were telling people a number of about, I don't remember the exact number, but it was like 13.6, 13.8, somewhere in that range. And that was our number, and that's what we were telling people. And we got an estimate in January of 17, because the money was voted, right, in May of 17. January of 17, we got a number from Weston and Sampson, 14 million something. I'm like, whoa, you know, brakes on. And we worked really hard between, you know, Weston and Sampson and Daedalus. and us, and the staff, all the staff, Peter, everyone, we all worked together hard for like 2 or 3 months, value engineering, grinding this thing back to where we thought was a number that the town would vote. And in some of that, like for example, remember we took out the translucent panels, and, we put things on bid alt lists and things like that. And, and then since then, like, we added some of the, not all the translucent panels, but we added some of the translucent panels back in, and we've added a few things in change order 1. And you may recall, we went to town meeting at $13,575,000, 25,000 lower than the 13.6 we've been talking about, because we'd scrubbed it down. Go ahead.
All right, so that being said, when we had that $14 million number, we sat there and we were like, we didn't feel the town would pallet that kind of dollar value. We were nervous about the overall costs associated with the product. So part of the value engineering was we met with the security consultant and the IT director and said, what can we do to get the infrastructure in place so that it's part of the construction cost overall? And then what could we do systematically through phases to, if the bids came in favorable, or if our, budget, any line item budget line came in favorable, could we add it, once we
As
felt
we
a more
went.
comfort level as we move forward with the construction? So we took a lot of these components out of the contract, out of the budget portion, to make sure that we hit the 13,575, because we felt comfortable enough that the number was 13,500 that we would try to present, and then we would go from there. So that being said, we met with the security consultant and we said, what do we need to put in the building as part of the general contractor to get the infrastructure in place? That way, as we added some of these systems, we wouldn't be tearing apart walls and doing all of that. So we put all the conduit in place. We put the electrified hardware indoors that we felt that we needed these security access to it, but they still had a key function. So we still had the ability to use it if we couldn't afford. If the bids came in higher and our contingency was affected, we wouldn't be even having this conversation right now. Knowing that we came in favorable with the general contractor, knowing that we've been very thoughtful.
The job's
and-
going well.
Yeah, and we were very methodical about the use of the contingency. We felt we didn't want to make any decision until we were at least 60% complete, because that's a comfort level. Once you hit that 60%, you're out of the ground, your building structure is up. There'll be some incidental changes here and there because we're doing vertical construction, moving walls and putting in equipment. But we feel as a comfort level that we could make a recommendation to go to phase 1, which would give them the bare bones of what they need, including the time clock, and still have enough contingency not to worry about finishing this project under budget. And that's the whole purpose of the reason why we're in front of you and making these conversation pieces now. Now, could we have included all of this into the, contract and had it bid as part of the general contractor? Yeah. The number may have been 14 and the town may have approved it then. But we were trying to do what we could to make sure that we saved every possible dollar for the town of Orleans. And in doing so, we kept the number to 13.5, and we have a comfort level now that we could utilize some of the contingency and still bring the project under budget.
Under
So
budget.
that's the bottom line.
Guys, have any questions on that?
Nope.
I've got a little bit of a question. I understand what you've done with the budget, okay? That you want to get down where the town would approve it, et cetera, et cetera. Leave a contingency fund, and as the project goes along, add some things into the contingency fund. When we approved, change order number 1, that was discussed. Maybe now was time to add back in some things because the project was going well, et cetera, et cetera. What we're approving here takes 50% of the remaining contingency fund.
Well, we're asking for only 90,000 tonight.
You're asking for the whole thing, even though you're gonna add it in later. Okay.
We'll ask for more later.
Yeah. So really, we're basically setting ourselves up for what's coming later. So I've got 2 questions. One is, what other things are lurking out there that we think we may run into?
So we looked at and jump in.
Yeah.
So 2 things. One, if things start going, knock on wood, start going bad, I'm not gonna come back and bother you for these things.
For the 130.
For the 130,
The 90 you're gonna grab.
you know, my goal, I mean, to be quite honest with you, I want this job in under budget. You know, that's
No,
my
I
goal.
understand- I understand
I
that.
wanna turn money back to the town of Orleans.
I'm
Just
asking,
so you
I'm
know.
asking the question because I'm trying to figure out
How we.
So,
what else is lurking
right,
around.
so to answer that, we had the meeting a little while ago, right? What's out there for current, what are we looking out there for current change orders, right? There's two. There's one there's a question, geez, as part of that value engineering, we took out some glass out of some doors, and the architect has asked, maybe we should put a little glass in here and there, a couple of places. You know, we're not talking a lot of money. But looking at it, on my end, I don't even know if maybe a little bit. There's one door, I know there's something with the frame we need to change.
$1,000.
5 to 10,000, max, you know, maximum on that one. And then there's one for some chain link fence, at the mezzanine of the water department shop, you know. Let's go crazy, $5,000. That's it,
So there's roughly, call it $20,000 of
maybe.
changes that are possible out there.
And it's
that
things
we-
we're asking for.
Right.
Again, it's things we're asking for.
There are also, some utility back charge,
Credit, that'll be.
numbers
correct.
that were being held, and we're not gonna be charged for those. I think those are like 30.
Right, so we got 30,000 on our budget for utility back charges. We've been told from Grid and Eversource they're not gonna whack us. So we feel comfortable that we could use
Commissioning.
20 grand out of that for any of this.
And commissioning.
That's why I said that number, you know, 132 is gonna go down, cause I can use some of that money for that.
Right.
And then, you know, we were just talking about commissioning and testing, we might get a
Another
couple of
20 out of that.
10,000 out of that one. So those numbers are gonna come down. We're gonna run the job to the end in areas that we pick up money, you know,
Our
use
intent-
that
yeah.
and not the contingency.
So to answer your question, our intent isn't to utilize the contingency to the maximum. Our job and our task is gonna be to manage our budget on any of the specific line items. And if there's cost savings and we're done with that particular item, that drops down to contingency. So we're hoping to grow the contingency as this project gets closer to completion, because there's a lot of line items that we're not gonna use. Now, will there be some items that may go over? Yeah.
Well,
But
we're
we're gonna
still
man-
gonna have
yeah,
some,
right.
we're gonna still have a few change orders. I mean,
Right.
it's just part of the job. We don't see anything significant, we don't know what they are yet, but we're only on 7% ask on unforeseen things from the beginning of the
Right.
job, which is great. I've got, you know, back last year when I did like building demolition, you know, that whole site work line, you know, I got an extra $4,000 kicking there. I know I got that. I know I picked up 14 or 15 grand on the lifts. You know what I mean? So I know I got some money there. So I know we've got little pockets that as the job comes to an end, basically something
be
like
able to
this,
move,
that
right.
number's just gonna drop out off, you know, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna ask for, you know, 90,000 or 60 more thousand because I picked up here and my plotter now is in 30, my plot is 15 and things like that. So we're gonna grind that down. No
So
question.
there's no large items right now.
Yeah.
Don't take anything I'm saying negatively, okay?
No.
Because I trust both of you guys implicitly, I really do.
Well, that's a mistake.
But like
Trust
you
a
were
little
just
bit.
talking about, you know, there's gonna be a problem on a door, then you said about $1,000, you said, oh, it's definitely under 5 to 10,000. That's a huge discrepancy between.
No,
the two.
he meant the door changes, there's a group of door changes for $9,500. There may, and I was saying, there may be a door that we'll
Yeah,
find
there's
later on that
one
we wanna
door.
change, that costs
But if
$1,000,
we,
that's the difference.
right, but if we say, you know, and we do this as a group, we
Right.
say, hey, we really think we should have these windows and these doors, it might be 5 to 10.
Right, that's the bottom line.
I'm a layman,
Yeah.
okay?
Right.
But I wanna be sure of what I'm hearing, okay?
Yeah.
Now, it seems to me, on these phase 2 things, even if we approve phase 2 today, you're still gonna be trying to work it to bring it down. I mean, you're gonna
Yeah.
be trying to bring it to work it down all the way through the thing.
Correct.
It seems to me to make more sense to commit the contingency funds at this point, since it's out there and it's gonna remain out there. And if we need to pull back, but it makes us feel a lot poorer going
Along the
ahead
way,
with other things. And I think, I would rather see us be able to pull back later from the figure we approved.
So not to exceed item is what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
as opposed to
It does make
having to
sense.
come back and ask for more money at a later time. Now,
So-
you may not agree with me on that.
No, I hear you, and I do agree with you. My problem is, as I understand it, contingency funds are supposed to be for, the building, things critical to the building structure, and whether whether they're roof pitches or any of the other things that we've changed. I have a problem, we get to, I got mixed feelings about the time clock. I don't know why that isn't a town-wide infrastructure item. I mean, I could go,
Good point.
if it was found that it was the most efficient thing to do to install it at this point, I could go in that direction. I got a definite problem with the computers, the plan scanner, and the plotter. That to me is, I don't see any difference between that and a typewriter or a copy machine. It is not integral to the function of the building. I see that as a, that's a, something that.
That's an operating
That's-
necessity.
Yeah,
Furnishings.
I don't,
So can I just say, so I've done enough of these buildings, and whether it's police stations all the way to DPW building, there's a certain infrastructure of computers that need for the operation of the facility,
Yep.
without hesitation. And computers, scanners, and plotters are all part of the operation. If it's gonna make their operation meet the 21st century compared to what they've had in the past, these interior components, without doubt, would have been part of the overall budget that I would have presented to you. So, in perspective, in the point of your contingency, it is critical portions to make sure the structure of the building, but it's building and components of the building. So what that means is that you have the ability, if 13, I'm gonna use round numbers, if $13 million was the value that we got from the town vote, and we allocated it, and that contingency was based on a collaborative effort between the architectural firm and myself to say, we want to carry this contingency because we know there's going to be items that, will come up during construction, but there are going to be items that we didn't plan on or budget-wise, because technology is only as good as the day that you're ready to go out and get it. A year and a half ago, when we set a budget of 120, or 138 was the number that we needed, and then we actually go out there and price it, and technology's changed, and the value of that has gone up a little bit. The contingency is used to make up the differential. Every single project's like that. I don't care what project you go into. So it's not only for the critical portion of construction of the frame of the building and infrastructure. It's made for components and the infrastructure of the building, and that includes the scanners, computers, and that type of stuff. Now, time clock, is it essential for the operation of DPW? To me, of all things, the answer is yes. Because their operations it's an employee-based company, and they're gonna need, now, could they bring their old time clock? Yeah, but it's antiquated. So do you wanna go through spending $5,000 to use an old system that could break down, then spend 22? It doesn't make economical sense.
I don't think he's asking that. I think
I
he's
have a-
questioning why it's in this and not in a town.
I have an easier, path with the time clock. I mean,
Okay.
From what you guys have described, it's a system that obviously I think
It's
would
necessary.
be very productive, and efficient, and I think that's been one of the themes here all along. But I still have an issue with, plotters, scanners, and computers in that, particularly the plotters, the computer, the plan scanner, and the plotter, only because you're gonna get in there, you're gonna collect assumedly whatever is archived engineering-wise, and, whether it's, 25 or 50 years worth of plans that have been collected or whatever. But I think that's an operational budget thing, and
I get your point, I get your point.
May I?
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from, I respect it, no question about it. But what's the difference between computers, plotters, and I'm buying chairs and tabletops? Yeah, so that's one comment. It's just, it's furnishings. It's part of the building,
The operation.
part of how it operates. But when we talk about, I'll get the memo in front of me, April 4th, 2017. This is the memo that went to John Kelly with the recommendation, this is how much we're asking for. This is what is our ask. And I have in here, and I'm gonna show you in a slide, I have in here technology. And at that moment, it was 105, all right, because 20,000 for computers were under it, industrial equipment, just because it was in a different line. It was 125, and it was, you know, radio system, plan, plotter, scanner, et cetera, server, and under industrial support equipment, the list is attached, 20 computers, or whatever the number is. So if we go ahead for a second, this is the slide. Oh, wait a minute, let's see, so this was what at town meeting, based on this memo, 25,000 for computers, radio system was 40, computers, plan, scan, 30, infrastructure technology, 35, all the rest, 130. Now, we'll go a little rounding here, but we're talking the same numbers. We've been talking, this has been in the plan since day one. And then this is the slide that was presented
At town
at the
meeting.
Orleans Citizen Forum, okay? And this would have been presented at town meeting, I don't know if it was, but it would have been if anyone asked a question about the budget. I don't remember if we ever showed it or not. But here it is, and okay, let's see. Owner's development costs, furnishings, technology, radio, purchased direct by the town, okay? 225, well, 225 is, the furnishings is 120, so it's 105, which is the 105 here in the memo. And up top, where is it? Industrial support equipment, 166, 20,000 in that, and the list is right here for the computers. So,
It was always part of it.
so it's always been part of it. I get the comment,
Yeah, when it
but
was
we've always,
part, we were at 14
you know,
and whatever.
no, this was the 13,575, there it is, 13,575, it's always been in it. You know, it's just, you know, part of it was, you know, we got the quotes in for, you know, the technology, like the security system, it changes so fast. I mean, we didn't come forward this sooner because we just got the prices in from the vendors, I don't know, what, 3 weeks ago,
Yeah,
maybe?
2.5 weeks ago.
2.5, 3 weeks ago, so that's why we're here now. So anyway, that's my pitch, for what it's worth.
How many radios?
This is radios, okay, so the radio project is a $130,000 project, right? 90,000 is coming out of our fleet account, okay? You know, for all the vehicle, whatever they call it, the vehicle,
Vehicles and equipment.
oh, yeah, it's the stabilization fund, the vehicle equipment stabilization fund. We got 90,000 in there this year, I've already cut the POs and all that. Every vehicle in the fleet will now have a radio. You realize we don't, I mean, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
Every vehicle in the fleet has the radio. Plus, there's 40,000 in this budget for all the radios in the offices and the antenna and the infrastructure that pieces it all together.
Can
okay?
can I just follow up with a question? I mean, I actually respect your points that you're making. However, whether you go through the operations or whether you have it enough funded, and we had it shown in the budget initially, through this budget, and we come in under budget with this project to include them, you're spending that money either way, aren't you? I'm just saying prospectively, that's all. Whether you go through operations on a yearly, you know, tax burden, or whether you are going to a burden for a bonding capacity for this project, you're starting with a building with the infrastructure that you need to allow this operation to work under, you know, today's technology versus, you know, doing it over a phased project where the taxpayers are still paying for it one way or the other. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I guess
that's all.
the issue is, yeah, that is something that should be proposed to the selectmen. I think our charge has been pretty hard about getting that building up
Yeah,
and getting it ready and usable. Getting into operations has been a problem
From day
from the
one, yeah.
get-go here, it's caused all kinds of problems. And again, I see that as an operational expense, I don't see it, I have a hard time seeing it as part of the charge of getting the infrastructure of the building up and there and functional. If we get to the end of this, and we have, you know,
funds available.
if there's plenty in the contingency fund, maybe that's the time to go back and to the selectmen and say, hey, you know.
But that's what I'm saying, I'm sorry, let me interrupt, Mr. Chairman, but that's what I'm saying. We're not gonna come back and talk to you about phase two until we're in the building.
Yeah, well, okay.
October, November, we'll
Yeah.
come in and go.
And we'll have a better
"Look
value
at-
there.
Hey, guys, we got 350,000 in contingency left. We'd like to use 133, it'll be less than that. We wanna use 80 for these purposes. Can I go back to Mr. Kinney's comment? Mr. Kinney made a comment about, something about, I got the impression you said something about maybe approve all of it now, or something like that? Okay, if I could, I appreciate it, that's great, you know, I appreciate that, but honestly, I personally would feel more comfortable.
You want
So
to
I
increase
look at these items, remaining security, computers, plan scanner plotter, okay? What is more efficient to do now and what is not, type of thing? My personal preference is if you wanted to go more than a 9550, I would say, give me 20 just for the computers. If that's, you know what I mean, that's based on her, Herb's comment, 20 for the computers, that's it. Let's wait on the plot scanner and wait on the rest of the security
And
system.
see where
Yeah, I
we're
mean,
at.
all that equipment, I mean, you can buy that and get it down here in 2 weeks and plug it in. I mean, it's not like
Well,
you
my-
got
my thing on the-
6 months lead time on.
Right, my thing on the computers is, it's, this poor guy, he's gonna move 20 computers from all the existing facilities and get them into the new building. And then if we buy them 2 months later, he's gonna change
Swap
them
'em
all
out,
out.
right.
I would rather just say,
Set
hey
up.
Pete,
Okay.
here's the computers, load them
Yeah,
up.
it's, you're setting them up as
Am I
a way to go.
wrong?
You're
Is
wasting
that-
time and resources at that point.
He's a busy guy. And if you did wanna go more than the 90, I would say give us the 20, we'll wait on the security and on the plotter. I don't know how anyone else feels in this room, but that's how I personally feel.
I want the 56050.
No, I want the 90 plus the 20.
Yeah, plus the 20.
If,
Yeah,
based upon Mr. Kinney's comment. Now, that doesn't sound like that, what Mr. Kinney wants to do, but I'm just saying, if you go that route with the extra 20, to give more, just give me the 20. I don't want the plot.
that'll get you basic in.
The
Yep.
plotter is plug and play later, fine, I'll wait, I got no
Yeah.
problem with that.
I mean, set up your archives and know how it goes and get
Yeah.
in there and
Yeah,
We're on
see
board
how
with
it
that.
fits.
Yeah,
and-
I agree with
and
that.
then-
Totally.
And then go ask for the money. I mean,
And then it's
I
remaining.
have no problems going back for that. It's just,
Yeah.
like I said, I just think it's, we're buying the whole enchilada here without,
Getting in the building.
yeah.
And,
I personally have, with the contingency, coming back and revisiting this, in August,
2 months,
September,
yeah.
when we know, we could stand here and say, hey, we're 95% of the way there.
We're good to go.
Are the selectmen, open to, looking at these things as legitimate contingency, issues?
If I might clarify my comments just slightly, okay? I don't have any problem with part of our contingency helping out with operational, as you're referring to them, operational expenses of buying some equipment. When you build a new building, you put new equipment in, okay? That's a common practice unless your old equipment is really up to date and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
My problems are coming back later, says, well, we basically already approved this back in August when we talked about it. Now we're just gonna do it, now we're doing it formally. I'm concerned about running out of contingency funds. If later on we can use some of our contingency funds to help with some of that equipment, that doesn't bother me in the least. If we can use some of that contingency fund to help a time clock system that's gonna benefit the overall town, I don't worry so much that it's coming out of the budget for our building as opposed to coming out of a general town
Yeah, and the
budget.
time clock thing is, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a system that's built into the building, it's attached to, it's, you
What-
you need it, when if you plug it in tomorrow, it's gonna be operational next week. I mean,
What I don't wanna run into is a situation where we come up with a $300,000 item before we're into the building,
Yeah, I don't want that.
that
either.
is something that we can't avoid.
I think it's a safe shot at this point that, the big mystery spots, we're over that, we know, we're out of the ground, we're filling in the blanks, at this point.
And with what I did today and going around over there, I'm inclined to agree with you. I
Yeah.
feel very good.
I mean, we're most of the way there.
I think they're doing a great job on the project and that things are going beautifully over
Yeah.
there. Okay, I'm very, very pleased. So I'm willing to compromise on whatever is the best compromise to come up with on this thing. And if we want to delay some phase two expenses,
110,
that's fine with me. My concern is coming up short on our contingency funds for things that will be
Well,
necessary.
As
in
for
the
OPM,
future.
I won't allow that. We'll have a clear conversation about any of the exposure to the contingency as we move forward, so.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are getting the regular reports, and I've been sitting on
Yeah.
the progress meetings and everything, so I mean, you know, again, I think it's pretty comfortable to say that I don't think we're gonna run into any giant mystery things, I just have a problem with, you know, operational expenses and hard infrastructure, you know?
Yeah.
I just don't think, yeah, and my understanding from the selectmen side of the street is that they're reluctant to spend contingency funds for things other than, you know, unforeseen problems.
Well, Alan was here a few minutes ago, I don't know what,
He left.
and
Yeah.
you're here, so,
Um,
you're here from the finance committee, right?
can I ask a,
Yeah, sure.
Petey, do you know the status on the police department with their, like, contingency and technology?
Everything's been released.
So they're buying the rest of their technology
Yeah,
at this
they're,
point?
all of their, at this point, they're buying their laptops, their
operation.
workstations, their audio visual wall in the emergency operations center is coming out of that. They're buying, the server line here is 12.5, their server number is 50. So, I mean, they're spending a considerable amount of money on infrastructure, technology infrastructure within the building. You know, it's really, in the way the approach was taken there was, they could only, the bare minimum as far as getting stuff in that had to be done before. Like if you don't do that first phase of the security system, of the wiring of it,
Yeah, you're done.
You'd be chasing it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
yeah, then
understandable. I
you have a
mean,
problem.
Yeah, the problem gets twice as big.
And we
Yeah.
have to have servers because our computer setup won't work without
Right,
the
and-
servers, you
I
know?
mean, I think that if I was asking for, if I was in your position, Tom, I would probably, ask for those first three things also. And then the other ones, yeah, I'm not even sure Kathy would release any of the money of that second stuff till way down the line. I mean, we moved into the police station in April, it just got released, you know?
Pete, you got any input? Any input?
No, do have a question, Tom, the radio system you're putting in, is that going to tie in with the police and fire
Yes.
radio?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yep, they will have our radios in their dispatch.
Natural resources,
Yeah.
everybody.
I mean, it connects to, so it's, talk about the system for a minute. So, right now, this is bad, all right? So years ago, all the departments were different. So water department had its own radio system, Parks had its own radio system, Highway had its own radio system, everyone had their own thing, right? As time went on, like Parks kinda still, this is still running, Highways is still running, but like, I can be in a highway garage in the middle of a snowstorm, I can't talk to 2/3 of my plows, because they're on different systems. Water departments is basically defunct at this point, because they just let it go down, anticipating hopefully a new system town-wide. So like, but that's the thing, during an event, even like a day like today, I can't talk to my people, I have to call them on a cell phone if I'm lucky, and staff doesn't have to use their personal cell phones, for this stuff. So this system, there's gonna be radios, different channels in every DPW vehicle, they're gonna be in police dispatch, they're gonna be on the desks in this particular facility, and we're all gonna be able to talk to each other. And police and fire can get to us, if there's an event going on, we switch to the emergency channel and we're all talking to each other. The beaches have their own thing, so they can, do their thing on, like I can just listen to Highway, while the beaches do their own thing. We're all being on our own separate, but then all of a sudden something hits the fan, boom, we go to one channel and we're all talking to each other. Or if I wanna monitor what's it's amazing how much you know what's going on by just listening to the chatter. During an event, you hear all the different staff talking to who's here, who's going where, and we're lacking all that right now. What does that do? That wastes money. That wastes money, overtime money, because I don't know where everyone is at every moment, you know what I mean? So I can't close that, I could probably close that operation down an extra 45 minutes quicker, if I was a little more aware of everything that's going on, instead of chasing people down. Or calling them on the cell or whatever, but, some stuff hits the fan, cell towers go down, you get a problem. It's another form of communication that we should have, so,
Well, the cell reception around town isn't all that good either.
Do they have
Some areas,
GPSs? Do your vehicles
no,
have GPS?
we don't have that set up.
You don't have
We're
that?
not setting that up, at least not yet. I mean, there's multiple ways of doing that,
What?
That's big money too.
How many,
Well, there's ways of doing it.
It's
The
not
There's
so
state,
bad.
everybody's going to it,
system,
though.
Sanding
Yeah.
system.
how many radios do you think?
I can give you an exact number, I just
Okay.
can't off the top of my head. you know,
We
it
can
could be
provide
like
that.
50 radios.
No.
There's a lot, you know, 50
Yeah.
of them or something.
So
Yeah,
summarizing,
a lot
I
of
guess, phase one is probably essential to keep the building structure moving and do it in a timely fashion, so we're not tearing apart things to put this in.
Right.
And then the $20,000 would get us the computer system, that would be.
So we don't do it twice.
We don't do it twice, bottom line, so it'd
That'd
be
be-
about $111,000
Yeah.
total, all said and done.
So adding another 20,000 to phase one really gets us independent of having to be redundant.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
With resources and
Yeah.
actual time, yeah.
So then we take 20,000 out of phase two and put it up
Right.
into phase one, and go, what would we call it, computer servers?
Yeah, computers.
Yeah. The desktops.
That might make sense.
Yeah.
What do you think, Peter?
I can go in that direction.
You wanna say an even
Buddy?
111?
Even 111.
Even 111 for easy
Yeah,
math?
round, yeah, 110,550.
Yeah.
Somebody wanna make a motion?
I will so move. In other words, I propose we take approximately $20,000 out of phase two and put it into phase one to allow for the computer servers,
Okay,
and then revisit phase two at a later
At a
time.
later
at a later
date.
time. Okay,
I second.
okay.
Did they say
I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna,
111,000
Is
even.
that what you
Brent,
said?
we're
Is that the
rounding up,
number,
you said?
111?
yeah, 110,5, yeah, we'll call it 111, yeah.
111, yeah.
Okay, so we're making a recommendation to the selectmen to approve $111,000.
Plus 20,000.
For phase one.
Making it, the final figure will be 111, right?
111.
Yeah, we're round.
What do you wanna say now?
If we get to do it, do it.
It's all good operational sense. Mr. Chairman, just off kill, I did send an email out to the committee. If anyone does wanna walk around the site after this, I'd be happy to. I think the only one who hasn't lately is Hank. I'm happy to take you over, Hank, and Buddy, you weren't there today, but if you guys want, any of you guys
I'll
wanna go over,
Yeah.
I'm happy to take you over. You too,
Okay.
Peter, if you wanna take. you
I'm
wanna go
actually,
over.
sure that's
We
not
have a
a
vote
question.
then.
I'll definitely,
Yeah.
do it.
We sec-
Do I hear a vote?
Aye.
Well, I tell you what, you writing that out?
Yeah.
You wanna play that back to us when you get done?
Did we approve phase one,
We recommend to the selectmen?
or did we recommend to the selectmen? Okay. Approval, that we recommend to the selectmen approval of phase one plus approximately $20,000, making a total of $111,000 to facilitate, the computer servers. The addition is to facilitate the computer servers.
The computer is
Yeah,
computer.
security system.
No server, we have the server in there now, it's security system, time clock, servers, and then computers.
Computers,
Yep,
to facilitate computers.
purchase and installation.
And revisit phase two, the remaining part of phase two. At a later time,
Too bad if necessary.
at a later time if necessary.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a vote? Aye?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's, what is it?
Thank you very much, Jim.
Mike isn't here, so we don't have,
Minutes to approve.
we do not have minutes to approve. So I'm gonna, move that we adjourn.
I second.
Um,
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Thank you, really appreciate the support, guys. Very much.
By the way, Hank, I would highly
Thanks for help. Yeah,
recommend
you got a
that
meeting
somewhere
here.
along the line. do
Now go back to Plymouth.
8:30 Thursday morning meetings, they're very interesting.
8:30 Thursday, well, next Thursday I'll be in New York, so that's gonna be impossible.
37.
If you have it, you should just come up and
Yeah.
down there. I mean,
I'm gonna
I'll
do
give
it
you
now.
some.
Yeah.
Don't give it to anyone
It's
else.
pretty aggressive.
No,
I mean,
I'll
it
find
really
you.
is. I mean, it's,
774.
it's
722.
really something to, something to see.
Yeah,
It's,
you going over, buddy?
Huh?
Wanna go over?
Where?
To the building.
A new one?
Yeah.
Has much changed since I see you last week?
I don't know.
So,
There are a lot
Find
of-
out.
There are a lot of plugs over there now.
walk it out.
Thanks, gentlemen.
All right.
Hey, thanks for the heads up.
No problem.
Hope I wasn't a pain in the ass.
Who's a pain in the ass?
I
You?
said, I hope I wasn't a pain in the ass.
No, you're not.
Not yet, no.
Oh, you should, yeah.
You should have taken a picture.
Like I said, it's really.
Oh, are you kidding me? What happened? How'd it get in the library?
It gives, there's a whole new, meaning to,
Yeah.
this is pretty big.
Where you been?
Now that, you know, all those.
Oh.
Where have I
Working?
been?
Systems are on.
Where's
I haven't
your-
been
where's
anywhere.
Jack? Jack doing it for you?
I did miss one
Full
meeting.
bastard?
Did you?
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are you pretty happy with what it's done?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you
okay.
had a
was
good
away
summer?
then.
Are we gonna come?
All right, listen, I'm gonna walk out the meeting, but.
Except for
getting
the-
flooded?
the
Your
meeting-
office
First
is
of all,
flooded
the
up? Today
new
wasn't a
official
good day.
date is October 17th.
How it rained, didn't it?
That's the date.
Yeah.
All
I
right?
had 32
Get
inches
what he
of
sent
water in
out
the basement.
earlier, I can explain when I see you.
I had 32
all right?
inches of water in the basement.
So that's that, and then the
Build
other
a-
thing
why'd
was
you build your
the
house in
the
a
committee
hollow?
just
Contingency.
approved doing phase
didn't
No,
know
his
that.
house is up on the hill.
security,
That was,
plus
that building was
20,000
built in
for
1947.
111,000 out of contingency.
Smith bought it, or built
Really?
it.
1947,
Not this Smith,
Right?
but Paul Smith. You knew Paul Smith, didn't
Yeah?
you? He built it.
Yeah, whatever,
His
it is what
house
it is,
right
you
now.
know, we just do it.
But the problem
All right,
is, the
sounds
water's
good.
coming from
Good
6A
luck.
You know,
and flowing down the driveway.
there were 3 weeks.
No, not 8 o'clock,
My
somewhere
basement's the whole
tomorrow
place.
over there, so we'll just
So it's
call
a
in the
problem
morning
the
and
state needs
coordinate,
to
all
deal
right?
with.
I'll tell you, the biggest problem is.
It might be 8:30 or 9, but we'll just set it up in the morning, all right?
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see.
What time
if
you wanna
they
go
do.
over? You wanna go over in the morning, I assume, earlier?
You can't have a painter over.
yeah, I couldn't, we left to go to Hyannis, they had
Huh?
exit 12
Or maybe we'll
closed,
shoot,
the
we'll
state-
shoot for 8 o'clock, you
Send
know, we get there
everybody
at
out to
8:30, whatever,
6A.
we'll coordinate.
And the
more.
lights out,
That was the,
there's no
All right,
traffic.
thanks, Ron, good luck.
People-
I'll see you.
I mean, it was.
I had to go to Hyannis today.
Yeah, I mean, they've been over there for weeks and weeks and weeks.
I made good time both ways, really. I was lucky.
Yeah, I
Poor
didn't
Ron.
do bad either, but
Real circus act. Here again.
Ron's not here because, major sewer backup in the library.
So, I mean, you can't get, you get electric, you can't-
Someone clogged the toilet and kept downstairs and kept flushing upstairs.
Oh.
He says it's a professional cleanup job. That poor bastard. Gentlemen, appreciate your help, really do, appreciate your support, very much. Hank, you coming with me?
yeah,
Yeah, Tom, I hope I wasn't being a pain in the ass.
No, you know,
but-
no, there's no pain in the ass, I appreciate your
you
help.
going over?
Hey, you got me an extra 20 grand, thanks.
Well,
Where you going, the new
yeah, but I
building?
thought we were doing
Yeah.
it for a reason that made sense.
It makes sense, it all makes sense, yeah, I don't want the full whatever now. I don't want 132 more, I wanna grind that number and come back at 80, you know, I only want to say 80. I just said 133, but we got it down. And there are other areas I wanna take from first, and clean out extras here and there, so I can come in and ask. I wanna bring this job in hard, I wanna bring it in good.
They started.
It's a feather in the cap to get this job in under budget.
The 26.
Taking just a few more seconds to go back to my other problem.
Yeah.
Moved out again.
I'll be in touch next week.
Yeah, well,
But
you
a-
might hear from me soon.
But, well, I've got a doctor's appointment in Boston tomorrow. They're obviously going to have to do a postmortem on what happened to 6A, because it was
Yeah,
completely
let's talk
flooded
about it.
across.
We'll go meet back on site, you can show me what actually was going on, all right?
Okay,
Actually, 3
but
two underground, one over.
whatever the solution is for 6A,
Yeah, well, it incorporates.
yeah, I'm a part of it,
Yeah.
and something has to be done. I mean, you look at that one flooded picture where the whole lower parking lot is flooded straight across.
Across the whole pond.
Yeah, and that's after the water had gone down 6 inches. The whole thing is it's a friggin' mess.
Sit there for
Well.
an hour.
I get this guy in Gibson Road.
No, thanks.
He spent,
Well,
he says,
this
it's
was happening
$3,000
regularly.
a
Like
year
working in the sunshine.
refixing my driveway, cause the town drainage system is overflowing down his driveway, right? But the Conservation Commission wants me to take the outfall out. So he's flooding even with the outfall, and they want me to take it out. I'm like, no, I'm not taking it out. It's the poor bastard, it's bad now. Can you imagine if I took it out? So I might end up doing more to help him in the street.
So what have you been doing all summer?
Well,
Not a whole lot.
the
What are you
state's gonna
gonna
have to
do?
do something about 6/8, cause that's,
I'm not.
You had better one deal with
it
me.
gets, well, no, that's why I'm dealing
No,
with you.
No,
Uh,
but I had
but-
more control if it was a town
Couple trips
system.
to
But
New
we'll
York,
do our
that's
best.
it.
Yeah, but you have the best
Why?
control with the state.
We'll work.
No, we go to.
You have the
Long
best
Island.
control with the state.
No,
so-
no worries.
Ferry
Yeah.
over.
Cause man, I'm in trouble on that one.
Yeah.
That's a big
I'll
problem.
give you a call.
Yeah.
Call,
So
set
that-
up. Yep, give me the dates.
Thank
Do
you.
it sooner or later,
Thursday.
because dates fill up.
Right
Right now, those are open. I know it's easier to manage my schedule than the whole FinCom schedule. All right, we're good.
Come on, most of them are retired,
Peter, I gotta talk to Peter.
including me.
Well,
Oh,
We shall
Peter
make
Van
our
Dyke,
escape.
thanks you guys for the
Take care
extra
of yourself,
20.
buddy.
I will do that.
Hey, I'll meet you
I
out.
wanna see you
Hey,
around
just,
next
wanna
time.
stick with me or meet you up front?
Yeah, Buddy's going too.
All right, that's fine. Just give me a couple minutes, I gotta find Peter Van Dyke. I'll be out in a second.
see you later and thank you.
Thank you. You have a good day. Oh, there you are. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's right, and I'm like, you shouldn't have to go for that. You said, I wanna do it for it.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
they-
deserve events here.
Yeah, I got the extra 20.
Yes.
So you don't have to do the work twice. What's the sense of that?
Oh, yeah.
How much labor?
No, it's just so much cleaner too, you get a nice
You walk in the door and your computer's on, and you can do time clock.
Exactly.
Hey, I'll talk to you later. Hey, bye-bye. Take care.
Peter,
Yes, how are you?
good man, how are you, man?
Quite the storm today, huh?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Where were you?
I was at Homeport.
Where?
Homeport, yeah.
Hey, there must have been water in that parking lot, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was up to the wheel of the car, you know, on the bonnet. Yeah. But,
I was in the parking lot across the street.
yeah.
And I went to drive out. Then I realized I'm gonna that's gonna submerge the engine. Like, I gotta stop and go back down.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Crazy.
I know.
But it's like 6 of a month, they fixed the parking lot, you know? So, I don't know what's happening.
Amazing.
Something failing, you know?